Hello everyone, welcome back. And we are in Wurm Online if you haven't seen that or realised that already. I played this game about a year or year and a half ago, just for about a month. And I kind of enjoyed the time in the game, but at the time I played solo and I just didn't. I think I played it for a month and then I got caught up in other games and just didn't go back to it essentially. But then when I heard about Worm Unlimited, it was kind of funny. Worm Unlimited just kind of reminded me of Worm, like the idea of Worm Online again. And then originally my idea was just to log into Worm Online and take a look around again. And I was taking a look around, and in the end, I ended up joining a village. And I've been playing the game for a couple of weeks. So I thought I'd show you guys a video of kind of where I am and what I've been up to and things like that. I'm still unsure as to whether, how serious or how long I will play this game. The problem is right now I'm really enjoying Mortal Online, and I'm even getting back into Zion again. Like I really like these Sandbox MMOs, but it's really hard to play more than one, and that's my habit. I can't help but play more than one. Anyway, I'll show you what I've been up to. So like I said, I've been here for about a week. No, actually like 2 weeks, something like that. So I will kind of show you the village. Now the village I'm in is called Deadwater Port. The guy that owns the village is the guy you can see in chat called Ray Cow. And he's been a really nice guy, really friendly. Like, he's helped us out a lot. Like, there's been me, like, I joined, and then soon after that, there's a guy here that joined like 8 hours after me, apparently. This guy here. And then the guys over here also joined after me. So there's like 3 groups of new players in the village, which is kind of cool. So yeah, and the Ray Cow guy that is the owner of the deed, like I said, he's been really friendly, really helpful. Like any issues that we've had, he's given us free horses, basically just helped us along. So I would say if any of you guys are interested in playing this game and just learning the game and joining a village, and this is a really good one to join. And it's called Deadwater Port. That's the name of the village itself. And of course, if you did want to join the village, you just need to private message this guy Ray Cow. Yeah. So I've been playing for a couple of weeks. I kind of thought I'd show you around the deed first. Obviously, this is all stuff that is made by Ray Cow or other people, not by me, obviously. But I just thought I'd show you because it is kind of a cool little village. This is the inn. And the thing that is cool about having an inn is that I can basically sleep. And when you sleep, so in all these rooms, you'll find the exact same situation with a bed. And I can sleep in here, which will give me sleep bonus. Yeah. Basically, like when you join a village, it's kind of like it is for almost all Sandbox MMOs. It's kind of like they're very hard work at the start. So it's kind of the easy choice to kind of join a village. Like when I've played Mortal Online and Zion, I've kind of been against the idea of joining a guild because I've kind of liked to grind it out for myself at the beginning. But with this game, I thought I would try another route, and it's certainly easier because when you're playing this game solo, you need to like spend a lot of time gathering food, making sure you're well fed, well nourished. I mean, obviously the water is easy, right? But the food part is really hard in this game. Like, obviously, as a new player, the quality of food you can make is low, and therefore your level of nourishment will be low, and that affects the performance of your character. So basically here I straight away have a bed that I can sleep in. I've got food, like the guy will basically keep food. This is an inn, I think I said already, but this is his inn. So this is where all his guests will stay. And you look in this barrel, and he always will keep food in here. In fact, I'm going to eat while I'm here, So it just makes it a lot easier. Basically, if you don't want to bother with all the survival part at the beginning and you just want to learn how to play the game, this is a good way, because usually when you join a village, they will help you to get started and everything like that. So you can see this is his inn building. Kind of nice looking. Kind of cool looking. Okay, so that's the inn. Now I'm going to show you over here. You can see we've got some boats in his harbour, because this is a port or harbour or whatever. We've got clay here. This is his house. I've never actually been in his house. This is Raycow's house. I've never been in. He's never invited me in. I don't want to just walk in his house. That would be kind of rude. But obviously this is the nicest house on the deed. I'm sure it looks very nice inside. And then we got some of these interesting things. I believe this is a turret, and I assume this is really of any use on a PvP server, or on a PvE server right now. So I don't think these are actually used for anything. I think they're just used for decoration. We are on Xanadu. The reason I decided to join Xanadu is because basically it's the server with the biggest group of players. There's usually around 130 at least that will log into this server. So this is the end of the deed. Basically this is the perimeter of the deed and the end of the deed. Not much to see really, but yeah, that's the end. And then quite a nice looking statue. Isn't that quite interesting, to say the least? And then there's a possibility that I could miss parts of the deed, because maybe I've not seen all of the deed in my time here, but I'll show you the bits I know about anyway. I think this is the workshop. Yeah, this is a workshop. One of the new guys was using this as his workshop when he first started. I don't think he is anymore because he has his own house. But this is the workshop. We've got like loads of animals and horses and stuff here. Basically, the owner of the deed will breed loads of animals and horses. Obviously horses for obvious reasons, but he also will breed other animals, because he says in this part of the map, well, right down the southern end of the map, he says there's not a lot of creatures that spawn, so he needs to use these animals for him to make the meat for the meals and stuff. I think this is just the stable thing. Looks like I'm not allowed in here. Maybe not. Okay, fair play. I am allowed in there. In there though. There was a big update. Oh, I am allowed in there though. Yeah, this is just the kind of stably, fieldy stuff, farming stuff. Nothing overly exciting. And I believe this is kind of the end of the deed. I believe it is, because I did go down here the other day and there's not anything down here. And I think this is a house of someone else here that I can't enter. I think it's someone's house that's also part of the deed, because I believe we're still on the deed. I've not really asked about this. I mean, I've only been here for 2 weeks, so I've not really asked. This is a mine. It's not that exciting really, but just to show you, we do have a mine in this village. In fact, there's a couple of entrances to the mine. There isn't really anything here. If you go here, you can kind of see what this other person is building. Actually, is this still on? Let me just check. Is it still on the deeds? Because when I saw this originally, I wasn't sure, but I think it is. Yeah, it is. So this is in Deadwater Port. I would imagine at one point this was one of his friends or a new player that joined the village that made this rather large and unfinished house. I can imagine that this game must be annoying if you own a village, because I bet you get loads of new players that join the game, join your village and build stuff, and then get grinded out of the game and leave the game, and then your village is left with the ugly structure and loads of crap for the owner of the deed to then fix. So I don't know. I can imagine it can be quite frustrating because this is the kind of game that a lot of players will come and try it and be interested in the concept, but not be able to play the game for a long period of time because the game is very grindy. It is super grindy. Like I play Zion, which is also grindy. Mortal Online is a little bit grindy, but this is the ultimate grindy game. Those other games have nothing on this. This game is real grindy. So yeah, this is just the deed, the settlement token thing. Nothing exciting. As you can see, all these horses and stuff. This is another mine entrance. Not really anything over here to show, just loads of animals. And then I believe if I go over this little bridge over here, we'll see a couple of houses, not that much, and a load of trees. I've not really explored this side of the deed that much. Actually, I've not really been outside of the deed that much at all. Only really one time to try to cut down loads of trees. But yeah. So there is stuff here. Not quite sure what that would be used for. I'm not even sure. I don't even think I'm allowed in here. Just some kind. I think that's going to be a field at some point. And then I believe there was a house somewhere back here. Yeah, there's a house down here. Look. Yeah. A house which is with a cart with two horses. I imagine I'm not allowed in this house. No, because it depends on the permissions, but I don't think I'm allowed in there at all. And like I said, I've not really ventured too far around here, but I don't think there's that much more of the deed. You know, I don't think there's that much here, really, apart from what I showed you. Just loads of trees. So this is quite a handy place that I come to when I want to cut down trees that I'm using in the building. The reason that I went out of the deed for the other occasion when I was doing the cutting of trees was because basically I was grinding up the skill, so I was just cutting a load of trees. So I didn't want to do that within the deed. I wanted to find the area that was outside of any deed or any of the perimeters of deeds to basically then grind up the skill with the cutting down of trees. Yeah, so this is one of the new players that I was talking about. So this is a house. It's not yet finished. I think that basically every time that this guy gets more skill at carpentry, he'll add another floor because it keeps getting more like higher floors, you know. He's actually made a really nice little house. I'm not quite sure what this is going to be. Maybe a little outhouse, maybe a garage, maybe. I really don't know. I like how he's got some flowers in his garden. He's doing some farming. This is obviously his garage. I think I'm allowed in his house, yeah. So his house, I'm pretty sure this is the nicest of the three new houses. I get the impression he had quite a lot of playtime, that he could play quite a lot for whatever reason. So he's been able to spend a lot of time in the game grinding up his skills and making stuff. Not sure I like the big dining table. It looks massive to me, oversized. I'm sure that he thought the same. Oh, so this is now a room. This was not a room yesterday. He's made this into a room. I think this was his private area. He was saying the other day he was trying to make a private area where he could keep private stuff that he didn't want people to see. Oh, he's got some kind of rug. Leather black wolf rug. Okay, interesting. What's the view like? Not a bad... Oh, he's got a balcony, has he? He's made a balcony. Look at that. So like I said, you can see obviously this is the nicest house of the new houses, of these three new houses that were made by new players. So yeah, good job, I'd say, on that. Let's go downstairs. Okay. Then this was the house that was made by a group of, I think it's a group of 2 or 3 guys that are grouping together to make this house. They've also done a pretty good job with this house because they did start after this guy over here. I'm not sure if I'm allowed in their house. Ooh, I think I am. Cool. So you see they've got a forge. I think this is a forge, or is it an oven? It is a forge. They've got themselves a forge, and they're kind of putting together some basic stuff in their house. I'm not sure. No, maybe I'm not allowed in their house. Oh well. But yeah, it's not anything exciting, really, as you can see by looking through the windows. Yeah, but that's their house. One of the guys is trying to level up archery, so he keeps doing archery. And again, this is the other side of the deed, the other perimeter side of the deed. Basically, if you head over there where the trees are, that's pretty much in the perimeter of the deed, so the village. Now, this is my house. Now, this house is by far the worst of the 3 new houses, but to be fair, I think that my playtime has been a bit less than the other 2. I'm basically just trying to grind up the carpentry skill by making a house. It's not the best way to set it up because look, I've ended up with like 2 rooms that are not connected really, and I think I'm gonna just make this like a garage or like a shed or something, like an outhouse, that kind of thing. As you can see in here, this is basically the only thing I have in here at the moment is just this the pumpkin thing, the practice doll thing, for because I'm trying to basically level up my fighting and level up my swords. And I saw on a forum or something that they said if you for 2 hours try to cut down trees with a sword, that will get your skill up. But it seems it only gets your sword skill up and not your fighting skill. So my sword skill is quite high now. I think it's like 18, 17, something like that. I can't remember. But my fighting skill is still quite low, even though I've been doing quite a lot of, a fair bit of practice with the doll. And that sounds kind of rude, right? But you know what I mean, fighting practice. Even though I have been doing that, my fighting skill is, I think, only 6 or 7. It's really low still. So, and it's kind of annoying with this because I'm only able to make low quality things, and I have to try to improve it up to make it higher quality, because every time you hit it, it gets slightly damaged, and then if you're not very careful, then it will get 100% broken and it will vanish and you'll have to make another one. So I'm kind of hoping that I can in the future get quite higher quality wood, so that I can imp this quite high, so that wouldn't be so much of an issue. But I'm trying not to ask this Raycal guy for too much stuff, because I feel like if I just keep asking him for stuff, that's not going to give me the incentive to grind up stuff myself. So I'm trying to be as self-sufficient as I can, because then that will give me the incentive, like rather than just asking him, because he can do obviously pretty much anything in the game. So rather than asking him, oh, please can you give me some high quality wood so I can imp this up, I want to be the one that grinds the skill up, to have the incentive. Otherwise, I am never going to do that, and I'm going to be left with not a lot of useful skills, if you know what I mean. And the second part, and this is obviously my horse. I've got 2 horses, which were donated by Raycal. I've got a little small cart here, which is, it can only be hand pulled, and it obviously can't really carry that much, and it doesn't have the ability to add a lock. So I just use this for minor things. This is my major large cart. You can actually carry quite a lot of stuff here. You can add a lock so that other people can't access it, and as you can see here, it's been horse drawn, so you really can carry quite a lot of stuff in there. And yeah, this is the rest of my house. Not a lot to say really. Anvils, bolt storage, and a forge. Basically, I thought a forge would be important for me to, because I'm pretty sure that iron is very important in the game, and I need to use it for improving stuff. I'm still really early in the game. I'm trying to grind up some skills. The first part of the game, I can imagine, and I kind of feel like the first part of the game is kind of very. You're kind of grinding without really seeing much reward, really. I mean, okay, I would say actually to start with, my impression of the game before I started this time is I felt like it was really hard for you to make anything in the game. But actually, when I played this time, I feel like actually you can make things relatively easy. Like a house like this, you could probably, as a new player, you could probably make this in a couple of hours, maybe 2 or 3 hours, including the grinding of the carpentry, because you need the carpentry skill above 15, I think, for it to be this kind of size. I can't remember the exact amount, but yeah. So it would take you maybe 3-4 hours for you to grind and for you to actually make your first house. So it's not actually that bad. So I found out you can actually make stuff. Like the first things I made when I entered the game is I made these 2 carts. So it is actually quite easy, or relatively easy, or easier than I thought it was for me to actually make stuff. The problem is when you're a new player, everything that you make is super low quality. So obviously there are quite a lot of things you can improve, but you're kind of making super low quality stuff. So you then have to grind a lot to get the quality of your stuff up. So that's the bit that's kind of a bit frustrating, really. It's like I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do the grinding. So I am going to stick with it. Oh, and I need to show you guys the bridge. I am going to stick with the game. I'm going to try it for at least a couple of months. I'm going to try the grinding thing. I mean, what I would say is, I've done grinding in other games, like in Zion. There's quite a lot of grinding, but I find the UI in Zion is quite user friendly. But I find the UI in this, because it's like a menu, and I can see why they've made it like a menu, because then you can fit loads of stuff in here, much more than if you had to have an icon for every item. But when I'm doing the grinding, when I'm using this and crafting, I just find it really fiddly, and it makes my hand hurt after a while. So that's the thing. Obviously I'm still very new to the game, so I do need to learn. Like I've heard, like when you're improving items, I've heard if you have a couple of satchels, one is for tools that you're using when you're improving items, and one is for the items you're improving, then it will make it really easy. Because I hate having to search through this massive list of items that I have on me in order for me to find the things I need to do the improving. So yeah, I do need to work that out. Like I said, early days, but I'm hoping I can find a way to make myself feel better about the grinding, because I'm not sure at the moment if I can put up with this amount of grinding, but we will see. Okay, so this is the deed from up here, or the village from up here. It's looking quite nice, isn't it? And then obviously, being up here is kind of awesome to have a nice view. Yay. I would say as well, Wurm has a really good atmosphere. It kind of really makes you feel relaxed, and even though I would say that the graphics are not amazing at all, they're pretty basic, but somehow I feel this game is very immersive, and that is one thing this game has over something like Zion, for example. It's like I find this is a lot more immersive. The way it looks, it's very realistic, very immersive, more so than those other games such as Zion. So yeah, I'm kind of enjoying the game, but we'll see how it goes. So I am going to make more videos on the game. We'll see how it goes. I think I should stop the video there because I've been rambling on for quite a long time. Just wanted to show you guys Wurm Online, and yeah, so of course if you have any specific questions, you can leave a comment in the comment section below. And if you watched this far to the end, well done, good job. You get a gold star. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.